Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be continuing our coverage of the Bitcoin bull market forming and the rally that we've seen moving on into that here over the last couple of days, because if you'll remember to the beginning of yesterday's video, you may remember that Bitcoin was trading around $6,800. Well, today at the beginning of this video, Bitcoin trades around $7,300, and in fact, overnight, Bitcoin ran all the way to $7,600. That's a 25% rally above $6,000, one of the most important levels of resistance, and as of 2 or 3 days ago, one of the most important levels of support in the history of Bitcoin. But guys, in today's video, I want to talk about this rally. I want to talk about how Bitcoin has been going parabolic. I want to talk about everything related to the beginning of this bull market, and also, more importantly, I want to talk to you guys about why you need to be cautious. Because even though times like this are some of the best feeling times in cryptocurrency markets, or any markets at all, when markets are rallying double digits day over day, these are the times when you need to be careful, and I'm going to be discussing that in today's video as kind of a public service announcement, because I see a lot of people lose a lot of money in times like these, and I don't want you to be one of them. So that's what we're going to be discussing in today's video. If you do enjoy today's video, definitely consider dropping a like, hitting that subscribe button, and smashing that notification bell, guys. It does help out the channel when you do it, and I would be appreciative if you did it. We are approaching 20,000 subscribers, and I am eternally grateful for that. Thank you all. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into it. The first thing that I want to do here is go ahead and lay the groundwork for exactly what we're talking about. Let's go ahead and discuss this rally that Bitcoin has been in here over the last 95 days or so. Let's go out here to the daily chart, and I want to show you something. This is the daily chart for Bitcoin zoomed out, looking at the entirety of the 2018 bear market, the beginning of 2019, and the accumulation phase on into right now. This is a big move. Sometimes we have to zoom out, look at the chart from a far away position, and really get an idea of what exactly we're looking at. Bitcoin has rallied 25% above $6,000. That is ridiculous. That is a gigantic rally. A lot of people were saying that, oh, well, Bitcoin's just rallying, Bitcoin's going to fall over. I was one of them. I was saying that perhaps Bitcoin needs to have a pullback, and then a Bitcoin bull market will start. But in this case, Bitcoin didn't need to have that pullback. In fact, Bitcoin broke straight through here, and over the last week or so, Bitcoin has been looking extremely bullish. There were a lot of people thinking that we needed to go back down and test $3,000, or that we were going to go down below $3,000. Of course, I'm not naming any names, but I always thought they were wrong. I always thought a Bitcoin bull market was coming, and it seems that we were right. And I, of course, wasn't the only one saying that. I'm not bolstering my own position here or anything, but I am very happy to see what Bitcoin has done here. And as we can see, Bitcoin has gone straight parabolic. Bitcoin has started to rally in a very, very strong way, especially here over these last 2 weeks. Bitcoin has started a massive bull run, if you will. Bitcoin started a massive rally. Here in 2017, we saw something very similar, where Bitcoin just went straight off to the races, where the bulls got very exuberant. And if we go ahead and we look back into we look back into September and October of 2015, what we'll see is that what began the Bitcoin bull market was this gigantic, very much more rounded parabolic rally back over here than what we're seeing right now. But there's something I want to mention to you guys, and that is what happened after both of these parabolic rallies, the one here in 2015 and then the one at the end of 2017, where Bitcoin ran straight to the sky all the way up to $20,000. Because everybody talks about those rallies, everybody talks about how much money you can make in those rallies, but a lot of people forget one of the most important things about trading. They forget that you have to sell, and then they'll hold on to their bags indefinitely. And what I want you guys to understand is that Bitcoin has a pullback after both of these major rallies. Bitcoin has a pretty major pullback. This was not unsubstantial. This was a 40% retracement. That's a big deal. That is not just some kind of correction. I mean, of course, it was a correction. Bitcoin kept rallying. A bull market started from there. But Bitcoin did have a pullback after that rally in 2015. Bitcoin had a bear market after this rally in 2017. And the entire point of today's video is to remind you guys that Bitcoin is rallying in a very strong way, yes. But moving on into the shorter term future, you have to be very careful with rallies like this, because Bitcoin is being controlled by the bulls right now. Bitcoin is being controlled by people that are very, very exuberant on the market. They want to buy as much Bitcoin as they can. But guys, you must also remember, eventually those people are going to run out of money to buy with, and then what you're going to be left with is a lot of people who have just made a ton of money, and they want to cash that money in for some crisp US dollar bills so they can go buy themselves a Lamborghini, because that's what always happens. So guys, of course, I'm very bullish on this rally, but I want to remind you, Bitcoin is eventually going to have a pullback. Bitcoin is going to have some kind of correction. Bitcoin is going to have some kind of retracement. The bears are going to have their day. That is not a matter of my opinion. That is a matter of fact. You can debate with me all you want on it, but it is going to happen. I don't think many of you would disagree with me there. As we can see here over the last 3 or 4 hours or so, Bitcoin has actually been retracing. Bitcoin ran up here and hit $7,600, and we've actually been moving to the downside. Now, I'm not saying this is necessarily the beginning of some kind of more major retracement. It's very likely that Bitcoin could just rally again, but I do want to go ahead and look at $7,600 and discuss whether or not this could be the top of this rally, and if it's not, where is Bitcoin going to actually go? Because if we go ahead and look back into the history of Bitcoin here and we bring out a horizontal line, what we're going to find is that where Bitcoin finds itself trading right now is actually another one of those levels of resistance that I didn't get to discuss in yesterday's video, right around $7,400. Bitcoin has found resistance at $6,000, $6,800, and now $7,400. This is one of those levels I didn't discuss a whole lot yesterday, but I think I did bring up somewhere around $7,000. I forget exactly which level I was talking about, but $7,400 is going to be an important level for Bitcoin. As we can see, there was a top here for a rally. There was a lot of trading around $7,400. In fact, I think I did talk about specifically $7,400 in yesterday's video. Go back and check me on that. I don't recall if it was that level or not, but this is definitely one I've been looking at. We have tests on it back here. And back here, we have a lot of tests on $7,400 back here. I remember this. This was a gigantic consolidation pattern. I remember waiting for Bitcoin to break out of that, and lo and behold, it did. Bitcoin has some levels of resistance with $7,400 back over here. $7,400 is going to be an important level on Bitcoin, and as we can see recently, it has actually shown that it is being just that, a major level of resistance. And guys, if we zoom in here to the hourly chart, Bitcoin has started to retrace from a zone surrounding that. And in fact, at the time of recording this video, if we go into the minute chart, what you'll see is that Bitcoin has just dropped about $40 or $50. So this very well may be a major level of resistance on Bitcoin. You see there's been a lot of trading down here on the minute chart here over these last several hours, with Bitcoin kind of forming what looks like a top, to be totally honest. This does look like a topping formation. There's not really a name for what's going on here, but in general, when you see a market look like this, where it rallies, falls off a cliff, tries to rally, makes a lower high, falls off a cliff, tries to rally, make a lower high, cliff, high, cliff, high, cliff, high. Every time that happens, whenever you see Bitcoin or a market try to make a newer high, and every single time it fails down here on the hourly chart, and you can draw a line like this, this is actually typically bearish. So guys, I don't want to be the one to rain on anyone's parade, but I do want to remind us that Bitcoin has been rallying for nearly 100 days straight. And that, while it is actually very healthy for the Bitcoin market to do that, because it means that Bitcoin is moving into a new bull market, you also want to remember that Bitcoin has just rallied over 100%, and we've only been in a bull market for 3 days, guys, so let's have a little bit of time to recuperate, because I think the bears are going to take their chance. Bitcoin has started to make massive gains, and a lot of people have made a lot of money here over these last couple of weeks, myself included, and I'm sure all of you have too. Bitcoin has rallied in a very, very major way. And guys, when you've seen Bitcoin go and rally literally over 100%, Bitcoin has more than doubled in price in the last 3 months. When you see something like that happen, here's what always happens. This is not one of those things in technical analysis where sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. When you see Bitcoin make a gigantic run like this and it rallies, you're going to have people taking profits. And there's always a ratio between how much you've rallied, 116% to be exact, and how many of those people are going to take profits and how much of the Bitcoin they're going to sell. And eventually you reach a tipping point where the number of people selling Bitcoin, and more specifically the amount of Bitcoin being sold, if we were to have a bar graph right here, this is the amount of Bitcoin being sold. Eventually that gets to be larger than the amount of Bitcoin being bought. And then this gap right here in between the highs of these two bars is where the bears take control. If this was the bullish side, these were the buys and these were the sells, then the bulls are in control. If those are the sells, if these are the buys and those are the sells, then the bears are in control. That's pretty much all we're talking about. If there's more Bitcoin being sold than bought, then people are going to, they're going to be selling Bitcoin. The market's going to be moving to the downside. And as Bitcoin goes higher and higher and higher, then you have more and more people thinking, okay, well, I just made 100% on a trade with no leverage. I was using leverage. I just made 2,000% on a trade. I'm very happy. And all these people are going to start taking profits. You want to keep that in mind. People are going to start taking profits here over the next week or so. And the main reason I'm bringing this up is because when Bitcoin goes on a gigantic rally like this, when it goes on a massive rally, if it starts moving to the downside at all, then everybody thinks, okay, well, Bitcoin's just started the downtrend to follow that rally. Now's the time to sell. Because here's what a lot of people don't do. They don't sell when the market is rallying. What they'll do is they'll wait for Bitcoin to start falling down to get confirmation that it's actually going into a new retracement, and then they'll sell. They don't sell on this side. Let's make that a little cleaner. They don't sell on this side. They sell on this side. They sell when Bitcoin's going down, which is why downtrends are exacerbated and why uptrends are exacerbated as well. When Bitcoin's moving to the upside, people are buying. When it's moving to the downside, people are selling. And four or or 5 red candlesticks on the hourly chart really is enough to get people in that selling mood after they've just made a ton of money and they want to start cashing in. Because, of course, people are investing for the long term right now. You have to keep that in mind as well. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who just made a lot of money off of trading, and they're going to want to take those profits and then try and push Bitcoin to the downside if they're investors and try and make that money back by buying even lower. So, guys, while Bitcoin has just run in a major way, Bitcoin has just rallied in a humongous way, Bitcoin is still trading something like 23%, 20% above $6,000. There is going to be a retracement in the next couple of weeks. I don't think that's really even up for debate. I'm pretty sure there is going to be one. Bitcoin probably isn't even going to go all the way down to $6,000. It very well may. I shouldn't say that. I don't think Bitcoin's going to break $6,000. Let's put it that way. I don't think Bitcoin's going to break $6,000, but there's going to be some kind of retracement. Now, like I said, I don't want to rain on anyone's parade. Bitcoin's very bullish. A bull market has just started. It's definitely a time to celebrate, but it's also a time to be very careful with our investments. It's also a time to be very careful with our trades, because a downtrend is going to come eventually, because Bitcoin has just rallied so far. Maybe Bitcoin can keep going up to the moon. We'll talk about here in just a second how far Bitcoin can go, but eventually we are going to see that downtrend. Now, to wrap the video up, let's go ahead and talk about whether or not we're going to see that downtrend now, or in the shorter term, or nearer term, or longer term future. Where is it going to happen? Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start off by telling you where I think the absolute high of this rally of Bitcoin is in right now. I think it's either at $8,400 or $10,000. I don't think Bitcoin's going to go to $10,000. That's an extreme high. A more reasonable high for this rally would be $8,400. And to be quite honest, with the way the market's been moving over these last 4 hours, it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if this little move right here was actually the top for Bitcoin. A lot of times you see this happen where the market goes exponential, goes up and up and up and up, and is basically going straight up like a rocket ship. It's taking off to the moon. We're skipping the moons, getting gas there and going to the stars, and then Bitcoin starts moving down. I do think that there's a pretty decent chance, maybe a 30% chance or higher, that Bitcoin does actually just top out right here, and that Bitcoin does fall over here, and that this is the top of the rally. I think there's a pretty good chance with the way Bitcoin's been moving just in the recording of this video. Actually, I'd probably adjust that to maybe a 40 or 45% chance that this is the top for the short term. And the rest of that percentage chance goes to the potential for Bitcoin to in fact, rally above $7,400. But like I said, guys, I think it's a pretty good chance that Bitcoin does actually top out right now. Maybe only temporary. Maybe we only go down to $6,800 and then we go up to 84. But I think we're going to see some kind of downtrend relatively soon. I think we're going to see some kind of correction relatively soon, like in the next couple of days, and very well maybe even in the next couple of hours. Guys, the entire point of today's video is not to spread FUD. It is not to say, guys, we need to be very careful. We need to get out of the cryptocurrency market. We need to avoid Bitcoin, because of course that's not what I'm saying. Bitcoin is going on a bull market. Bitcoin is doing very well. Bitcoin is starting new rallies. Bitcoin is being very successful right now. But I do think that we are going to see a downtrend, and I do think that we need to be careful of that, and we need to be ready for it. And it's funny that I say that, because as we record this video, Bitcoin continues to go down and down and down. Bitcoin's been falling off the metaphorical cliff for the last 13 minutes we've been recording. These last 13 candlesticks have not been very bullish for Bitcoin, so it seems I'm being vindicated. Let's go ahead and keep talking for a second so we can see what happens. Anyway, guys, that's basically going to wrap the video up, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and leave this recording for about 5 minutes so we can watch a time lapse of Bitcoin, because I think everything that I just said might be coming to pass. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If Bitcoin does anything major, then I will come back after this outro and we'll talk about it. But like I said, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Please be careful in these markets. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.